a very, what felt like magical week in my business. And I achieved a huge milestone that I wasn't expecting to be able to achieve in January. And some would say that I've just collapsed time and accomplished something in an amount of time that I didn't even really, like, I knew it was possible, but it wasn't like something that I was really focusing my attention on. And simultaneously, in the same week, I achieved this big milestone, and I will share with you what it is in a little bit. I also had a couple of days within 24 hours where I woke up to messages from people, beautiful people in my community, incredible entrepreneurs that I have a lot of respect for, that let me know that they're ready to move ahead and ready to come and work with me. And I welcomed 2 beautiful entrepreneurs into Momentum, and I welcomed a beautiful, beautiful entrepreneur into Strategic, my mastermind. And so it was an incredible week. It was an incredible feeling. And it made me think about this term that's often being used on, do these things, and then clients will start dropping out of nowhere and dropping in your DMs and letting you know that they're ready to work with you. And all you have to do is, show up and share with from your heart, and, people will come, people will just come. And that to me was messaging that personally made me feel inadequate, and as if I wasn't doing things right, or wasn't aligned enough, or manifesting in the right way, or doing this thing right for a long time. Because I did not experience this for a very long time, for a very long time. And on my way to my first 100K, I feel like it really was causing a lot of doubt, worry, and resistance. And I'm bringing back my 5-day masterclass, The Way to 100K. And I'm super excited to be diving into that more. And if you want to come join me, it's absolutely free. It's starting on February 6th from 6 till 10th. It's a 5-day masterclass. And I'll drop the link in the show notes here so you have it. It's also in the link in my bio on my Instagram at Theresa Lambert Coaching. But it kind of had me in this a cha-cha, and it created this kind of strange expectation in which, when I was taking action, I should be quickly seeing people, dropping in out of nowhere, and people just being like, hey, I want to work with you, based on the way I show up in the world. And while your brand, and if you're building a consistent brand with a consistent messaging, and you consistently are selling through your programs and services, through your social media, for example, while that may lead to eventually people reaching out to you to have conversations with you, or saying, hey, I'm ready to move forward and dropping into your world, while that is a possibility, in order to build this brand I just mentioned, and in order to have people feel called or moved to reach out to you, it actually takes a lot of a strategic approach in which you share content, in which you make offers to people and ask them to take a certain action that's rooted in scientific sales psychology, really, and buyer behavior. And I talk about those things actually also inside The Way to 100K, but I talk about this a lot with my clients. And it takes a strategic approach. There is a strategy behind your brand. There's a strategy behind messaging. There's a strategy behind content. There's a strategy behind social media. There's a strategy behind podcasting and building a podcast. There's a strategy behind thought and leadership. There is a strategy and a plan and a process and a system that holds you and guides you and makes sure that you are held along a particular path that moves you to create a certain result. And I always say your ability to focus is a direct reflection of your ability to create results in your business. And so these messages coming in, these people dropping into my world, quote unquote, out of nowhere wasn't out of nowhere. It was the result of taking aligned and intentional action. It was the result of showing up consistently with my messaging and consistently with beliefs and things that are important for me around building my business. I give a lot. If you are on my Instagram or if you're listening to this podcast, you know I give a lot. I share a ton of value because I truly want to make an impact on entrepreneurs, and I want to help as many people as I can, as many entrepreneurs as I can, scale their businesses to 6 figures plus, so that they can really create the freedom lifestyle that they want, that they are able to pursue their passion and their purpose in this world and support more people. And together we can really create a ripple effect on how we feel about collective consciousness, and raise collective consciousness and raise the frequency and change the way we think about success and feel about success or believe success looks like. There's a lot I just threw at you, but regardless, I show up to make an impact. I show up to give. I show up to provide value. And every day I go to sleep knowing that I've provided value in some shape or form to someone. And I don't need evidence for that anymore. And that has developed over time. But really, I have built my business to 6 figures, and exciting to see where 2023 leads me. Multi 6 figures. I know it, it's happening. But I've built it from a place where I am very much in alignment with my intention to impact and to serve, while also very strategic around the way in which I show up and the way in which I take action, so that actually I can have the freedom that I desire, so that actually I am able to be paying myself the income that I want to be able to pay myself, to be able to work from anywhere. I'm still in beautiful Tulum, Mexico, and I absolutely love it here. To be able to have time and space in my calendar, all these beautiful things, and to be able to be present in whichever it is that I'm doing. And that required a strategy and a strategic approach. And I've also simplified a lot. And I've followed a certain process and strategy that I've created for myself. And if you are in my world, if you're a client, you know that I customize strategies for you. If you're not in my world, but curious, I invite you to come to the Way to 100K, and you'll get a taste of how I teach strategy and how it allows you to bring you in, because I believe that's important. But ultimately, I followed a plan that's fun to execute, a plan that feels flowy, a plan that allows for my creativity and my being and my femininity to come through. And I don't know, something about being in Tulum maybe, or living in Mexico, that has me spend a lot of time dancing and singing and being more in my beautiful feminine energy, and honoring that, while also sitting down and showing up for the things that I say I'm going to do, sitting down and doing the work and getting things done. But ultimately, the people that ended up in my world they all came in through experiencing a masterclass. They all came in through a certain path. They've all had experienced what it is like to work with me, or to receive guidance from me through me teaching something inside a masterclass, or the free mastermind that I did in November, which was a 10-day mastermind. And I will bring an opportunity like this back. I just haven't set on the dates. And with each and all of them, I started to develop a relationship. Some I have known for years, some I've known shorter, but my business partner, Blair, actually knew one of them longer. One I've known for a few months, and we've continuously been in touch. And I trusted that ultimately those relationships are going to be important, and I prioritized the relationship over the sale. So they all have experience with what I'm doing. They're all following me and consistently receiving my messaging, watching my journey as I'm sharing what I'm up to. I built relationships with all of them, and I made those relationships more important. And again, I really believe that that through these relationships, I'm planting a lot of seeds, and ultimately some of these seeds will grow into a beautiful plant, maybe even a tree, right? Or pineapple, if you're into the pineapple season is coming. But listen up, it took time and dedication, but there was a strategic approach. There was a plan that I followed with a pure intention that was focused on building community, building relationships, serving, guiding, making an impact, which again is something what I mentioned earlier. And consequently, I ended up having these beautiful entrepreneurs reach out and say, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. There was conversations, there was relationship building, there was experiences, there was time that passed. And that time was between a few weeks and more than 2 years. So I want you to understand that these people didn't come out of nowhere. They didn't. And the thing is, as you are building your brand, as you're following your strategy, as you're building your business, as you are coming up with your way to your 100K and then beyond on scaling, and you follow this and you plant seeds and you show up with this intention again and again, your efforts start to compound. Your efforts start to compound, and consequently, you're going to start experience more of these things, like clients dropping you messages out of seemingly quote unquote nowhere, more and more. But it is not as a result of just randomly sharing once or showing up once or somebody feeling like they're in your energetic vortex. No, it is about you consistently showing up with your messaging, you consistently taking action, you consistently serving, guiding, talking about your programs and services online, you consistently making connections, building these relationships, showing up to the rendezvous, showing up to the opportunities, showing up for what you said you would do, being in integrity with your own word, with your mission, with your purpose, with your strategy, with the way you desire to build relationships, with the way you desire to show up for yourself, in your life, in your business, for your clients, all the goodness. All these things come together, and consequently, you're building momentum. And this is why I'm saying sometimes just because you don't see the results coming in doesn't mean the momentum isn't building. But it takes patience and time and elegant focus and your willingness to keep going. And this is why making the journey fun is such a critical piece too, because I can't tell you how long it's going to take you to get to 100K in your business and sales. Maybe it takes you 12 months and you'll be getting there. Maybe it takes you 2 years, but it feels good and feels sustainable. Maybe it takes you a month. I mean, I don't know. What's your background? How many years have you already spent building relationships and community? There's so many factors that play in on what that timeline can look like. And I want you to detach from the timeline and just really focus on, if this is a goal, if I really desire to build a business that generates $100,000 or more in sales every single year, then what is the plan on me getting it? What is the way to 100K? So I already shared with you that I'm going to pull back the curtain. 5 days, I'm going to be diving in and I'm going to be talking about what it takes, the audacity, the inner work, the mindset it takes. I'm going to be sharing the strategies that I have implemented, what areas I focused on that helped me to get to my first $100,000 in my business. And we're going to be diving into it all. I'm not going to be holding back. It'll be available for a limited time only. So make sure you register. Even if you can't join me live inside the Zoom every day, you'll have an opportunity to watch the replay for a few days after. It'll be up until the 15th of February. And I'm super excited. So the link is in my bio. And, you know, the last thing will I say is that it's really, really amazing how results come together. And January 2023 has blown my mind in so many beautiful ways. First up, my mind has been quiet. I've been feeling very peaceful, very grounded. I'm confident in my path. I'm confident in my messaging. I'm confident in my strategy. I feel a lot of ease and peace. I feel very connected. I have a lot of space and time in my calendar, and I've been allowing myself to just take it up for being. I have beautiful clients, and I have officially crossed 6 figures in sales for 2023 already. I've collapsed time down to achieving what took me 10 months in 2022, 12 months in 2021, in 1 month. And it's a huge milestone. It's a huge milestone. And, you know, I always thought when I would get to this point, when I would hit past the 6-figure milestone in sales. So this is revenue, total sales. It'll come in through payment plans throughout the year. Probably got to do an episode on payment plans and recurring cash and all of that. But I always thought maybe I would like come up with the balloons and the $100,000 and the stuff that I've seen. And I didn't feel called to that. I haven't even shared it on my social media, but I wanted to share it here with you and those of you who listen to the end of my podcast, because one thing that I've really realized for me is it came in and I feel grounded about it. I'm very proud about it. But it was also something that I felt was the result of me emanating that peace, being grounded, really rooting into the confidence and the peace and the ease, and trusting my strategy and trusting my path and allowing things to look whichever way they look. And again, if you're listening to this podcast regularly, you know that I spoke about you know, my programs and how many people are in my programs right now, and that there isn't hundreds of people in my programs. And so here I am. I've secured more than 6 figures in sales already for 2023. I'm so excited. It's all coming in through payment plans. It feels great for my nervous system. My bank account's happy. Yay! While also just feeling so much ease and peace, while really detaching from that result and making who am I being and how am I showing up in this world and how am I serving and guiding the biggest priority over the perception of what it looks like, over the wins, over the monetary stuff. Because ultimately, I want you to understand that if you choose to come into my world, I want you to choose to come into my world because you believe, know, and trust that I can help you grow your business to this point, not because of those results that I have had in my business. I want you to come in because you know that you can do it. You believe that I can support you and we can co-create and we can get you there. And I will take you on as a client and welcome you with open arms into my world if I believe that you can do it. And every client that is in my world, every person that I work with, everyone that is now coming into my close proximity containers, and they're all 6 to 12 months. I don't have any short containers anymore or programs anymore, are all people that I know can get to 6 figures. They're the people that I believe in. I believe in them. I believe in their businesses. I believe in their products. I believe in what they're bringing to this world and what they're trying to accomplish. And that is really, really important for me. So when I take you on as a client, I know you can do it. And when you take me on as a strategist and coach and mentor to help you in your business, you know that you can do it. And you know that you want my support to help you do it. And it's not because of the results that I've created for myself. And that is really important to me. And that is why I chose to not, on my social media, make a big deal about this milestone. And I was umming and ahhing whether I should even share it on my podcast here, but I always speak about authenticity and transparency. And so this is part of this process. So here we are, January 2023. I've officially secured 6 figures for 2023 already. So if I made no more sales at all, new sales in 2023, I would have a 6-figure year in sales and revenue. But I'm not nearly done. I have spots available for strategic. I have a few one-to-one spots open, and I'm really excited to see the beautiful entrepreneurs that are choosing to come into my world and being on this journey together. So with this being said, I hope that I see a lot of you inside the way to 100K. It's going to be an incredible masterclass. Maybe some of you I will welcome and get to know even better inside my private mentorship, and we're going to do and co-create great things together. I feel really grateful, and I will be back next week with an incredible episode with Millie Fox. And I can't wait for you to hear it. I love Millie. She's incredible, an entrepreneur that I look up to. We're going to dive into manifestation and co-creation and so much more goodness to come. I love you. Have a beautiful day, and we'll chat soon.